study number 2. This is what we're going to run into during this mortgage meltdown and economic crisis. Okay? This house was upside down. These are the type of homeowners that we're going to be looking for. There's nothing wrong with the property. It's the circumstances of the owner that's the stress. Again, on the left-hand side is the loan for the first mortgage. On the right-hand side is the second mortgage. The bank's position is they loaned $59,999 for 20 years at 13.75. Again, that's another subprime loan. I love them. Homeowners, if they make every single payment, they'll pay back $176,000. Woo! The bank triples their money. Bank gets its investment back in 7 years. Again, collecting interest, buying defaulted bank notes as a real estate investor is how you get rich, just like the bank. Take out a pencil and paper, because if you haven't paid attention, I want you to sit up straight now so that you really understand the business of buying defaulted bank notes. This property was worth $220,000. $140,000 was owed on the first. It was behind in arrears and payments. It was $60,000 owed on the second. It was behind on payments. This property needed $10,000 in repairs also. So let's look at the numbers just to make sure you guys are following me. It's worth $220,000, but it has debt of $210,000. Can you see any way of making a profit out of this property? On top of that, this owner had filed bankruptcy and walked away from the house. The trustee sale was 2 weeks away. The first lender was foreclosing. What do? Let me do it one more time so you guys really get a bigger picture of this. They were 15 months behind on their payments on the first mortgage, which amounted to $18,000. There was no way the bank was going to collect any money from them. There were $11,000 in arrears on the second loan. Can you see why they walked away and were content on letting the bank have this problem? Can you see why the second lender was in a bind also? See, this may be happening in your neighborhood. Have you driven down the street and you notice there's people there one day? You come back 2, 3 days later, a month later, and they've moved, and you wonder what happened to them. See, sometimes people get into financial binds, and they just feel the best thing they can do is just move, and hopefully nobody finds them. So what do you think would have happened to 95% of real estate investors on this deal because they didn't see any equity? They would have walked away. Simply, again, because there's no equity in the property. Most real estate investors haven't been trained on how to form solutions with distressed real estate. By buying the non-performing paper from the bank, it gives a real estate investor like you and me the opportunity to make money on this deal, even though there were a lot of things wrong. So what did I learn on this deal? I learned how to make money on upside-down houses where the owner owed more than the house was worth. My check, $34,000, ladies and gentlemen. Some of you didn't see a way how that could be done. I created equity out of thin air by buying that defaulted note, and that allowed me to make a profit. Let's talk about some additional costs that you may have when you foreclose. So when you buy that defaulted note, you have risks by becoming the bank. You may have holding and management costs. You may have a bankruptcy attorney, a foreclosure attorney you have to hire. There's real estate agents' commissions. Let's say you get the house back from the foreclosure and you want to resell it, you have to pay a real estate commission. There's repair costs, taxes, insurance, closing costs. Also, there's the fact that you may have to pay the first to reinstate so that they don't foreclose on you. These are mistakes that I've made that you guys shouldn't.